Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing good. So first of all, a big thank you to all of you who participated in the collective meditation I offered on the 4th of April. And as some of you may know, I also have a French YouTube channel where I actually have more following than here. And we were approximately 3,500 people when we started the meditation, and someone told me that she opened her eyes during the meditation and she saw 7,000 people meditating at the same time, so that's pretty amazing. So a big thank you. And I will definitely do another meditation soon, because I know these collective meditations are very powerful and very efficient as well. So in this video I want to talk about the Ascension process and maybe give you a couple of tips of how to experience this in the best way possible, and to explain a little bit what's going on as well. So after this collective meditation that was actually during this very important portal that we had on the 4th of April, I really felt there was a huge shift of energy, and I'm sure that some of you also felt it. It was almost like a quantum leap, and I could really feel the next morning that there was a very beautiful and very light energy in the air. As light workers, we're really here to be pillars of light, to really connect with our light, to spread this light on the planet. And when we all come together in this way, then we also create something even more powerful and more effective to accelerate this ascension process. And as some of you may see or feel, there are a lot of people waking up currently on this planet, and we're here also to help them and assist them in this process, because we all experience this process on a different level and in a different reality. So some of us are going to experience this process in fear, in feeling anxiety, etc. And some of us are going to experience this really peacefully and connecting more and more with our divine self, and kind of also detached from what's going on and what may seem a little chaotic. But as I said in previous videos, I really feel that as light workers, because we are kind of pioneers and examples also, and we are here to lead the way, we are not going to experience this apocalypse that was told. We're not going to experience this chaos. We're going to be probably just observers of it for others, and this way we can also help others to kind of elevate them. So there are 3 waves of ascension, and the first wave of ascension is the wave of the light workers. So if you are watching this video, it is very likely that you are part of this first wave of ascension. And light workers, as you know, we have had our spiritual awakening a long time ago. We have worked on ourselves for many years. We have healed our traumas, healed our wounds, and we are here to lead the way and to be an example for others to follow. And also we are here to anchor the energy of the 5th dimension. So the 5th dimension is when we get out of duality. It's when we experience the unity consciousness and also the consciousness of the heart. And then there is the second wave of ascension, and the second wave of ascension is the people who are currently in the 4th dimension. So 4D is when we are awakening to the spiritual realms. It's when we realize that there's much more beyond our physical. It's also when we start awakening to all the conspiracies and all the lies and all the illusion of the matrix. So these are people who are currently discovering all these informations and maybe a little bit focused on this kind of information, and also in a kind of struggle and rebellion against the system. So I really feel that there is a lot of anger that needs to be expressed in the collective, and I think that it's going to be expressed through this second wave of ascension, so through the people who are in 4D right now, and probably we will see people on the streets kind of gathering and expressing this anger and saying maybe no to the system, and we don't want this anymore. So this is going to happen, I think, soon. And then we have the third wave of ascension, which are the people who are in 3D, and the people who are in 3D are the people who are still completely asleep. So they are not aware that there exists a lot more beyond the physical and beyond the five senses. They are very much still attached to the mass media, mainstream media, and they tend to also be completely addicted to either their screens or to other kind of entertainment or other kind of substances. So everyone is going to experience this ascension at a different level, in a different reality, as I said. And for those of us who are light workers and experienced this awakening, the spiritual awakening many years ago, we've all experienced what we call the dark night of the soul, and sometimes even more than once. Well, this is what we're going to see now in the collective. We're going to see the collective going through this dark night of the soul, and the fact that we have already experienced it is going to help us to assist people who will maybe have a hard time right now to go through this. Because of course, it's like, you know, someone who goes through a lot of abuse and traumas when they're a child. So when we are children, we all go through these kinds of things, and we kind of suppress everything. And when we grow up, when we become adults, even though we are not aware of these things, because they have been suppressed and it's in our subconscious mind, it still has an effect on us. And what happens is that one day it all comes up again. So all the trauma kind of, emerges, and we have to deal with it. So this is going to happen with the collective, and it's also going to happen because a lot of truths will be revealed. The truth of the illusion we live in, the truth about the political system, the economy, and also, of course, and I think that's maybe the hardest part for certain people, the fact that some of these showbiz celebrities are involved in very ugly stuff, and that people kind of worship these celebrities. So this is gonna be quite traumatic, and this is also why not everything can come up, at once, because it would be far too traumatic. And this is also why, as I said in one of my previous videos when I talked about the blackout, the 3-day blackout, that I didn't think it would happen or that it wouldn't happen. Well, actually, my deep feeling was that it wasn't going to happen, because it would have been too traumatic for people, being in a lockdown, and then everything, there's a kind of internet and phone blackout. It would have been really too traumatic. And the same goes for all these truths that must emerge now. It's not going to happen all at once. It's going to happen kind of, progressively and in divine timing. Something we need to also consider right now is that what we focus on grows, and where attention goes, energy flows, as we say. So we really need to be careful on what we focus right now. And if we focus too much on the dark agendas, on the negative, then it's quite normal that we start vibrating, fear and anxiety, because it's connected to these kinds of information. Whereas if we focus on the light and on the positive, and more so on solutions than on problems, then we start really vibrating in the fifth dimension, which is in fact the dimension of solutions, the solutions that will be brought to this world to live in a more harmonious and peaceful world. So it's not always easy to find a good balance between focusing on the positive, and I'm certainly trying to really spread and transmit positive messages to you all. But at the same time, I'm not closing my eyes either, on what's going on in the world. So it's kind of trying to find a balance between these two things. But really, when we feel that it's too overwhelming, and we feel that our heart is closing down because we focus too much on the negative agendas, then it's also a signal to tell us, now you need to focus on something else, and you need to maybe nourish your own light and go back to your heart. And we can also feel this in our bodies. When we focus on something positive, so when we focus on something that is filled with light or with love or with peace, then our heart center starts opening up and expands, and we can feel this kind of warmth. When we focus on something negative, it's exactly the opposite that happens. So it's like our heart center is closing, we feel constricted, and we feel this heaviness inside our hearts. So this is just a sign to tell us maybe you need to focus on something else. And I know a lot of people are struggling right now. Maybe they're scared about money, they're scared about the future. And I totally understand it, and I know that a lot of people are affected by this crisis currently. But what I would like to say is that we really are experiencing times right now where we need to live by the day. So we really need to, let go of what we can control and actually see what we can control. What we can control is our reaction to what is happening, but we cannot control what is happening. And also trying to just let go and accept that there is a kind of uncertainty concerning the future. We need to really kind of embrace this uncertainty right now. And what's also going to help us with finances is that instead of focusing on lack, maybe we can start a practice of gratitude and see what we do have. So we have a roof above our heads, we have food, we have a bed to sleep in, and start practicing this gratitude towards what we have instead of focusing on what we don't have is also going to help us right now. And this lockdown is also a great initiation for the human collective, and everyone is going to experience it at a different level as well. So people who are on their own, it's maybe a time to be initiated to be with the self and nothing else. Some people are going to be, in a relationship, and so the initiation will be maybe to see if this relationship is going to continue on after the lockdown. And some of us experience this with their families, so with their children, and they're experiencing maybe homeschooling and taking care of the children all the time. So this can also be a kind of an initiation. And I think that we will all benefit from the lessons that we are learning right now, and we are all gonna also align with what's best for us. So even though there may seem to be some difficult things, such as maybe a loss of job or changes in our lives, we must really understand, and this is really what I'm feeling very deeply, is that there is an expiration date for things that are not in alignment with our soul and with our hearts. So everything that's going to go, that has to go, it will go. And when things go, other things can come in as well. So really, let's focus on this positive aspect of letting go of things that no longer serve us and kind of welcoming what does and what is best for us. And in the end, I think we are all also tested on our faith right now. And the test is, do you have more faith in the darkness or do you have more faith in the light? And again, it's also depends on what we are focusing on right now, and seeing that in the end, everything that may appear as a challenge or as a problem has a solution and has also a happy ending. So I hope this message was helpful for you today. And as a last thing, I'm just going to say again, let's focus on our light. Let's focus on growing this light within us, and we'll see that by doing that and expanding the light, we'll see more and more of it in this material world as well. Sat Nam.